All right, guess I'm ready. Um, all right, everyone, welcome to my talk. Thanks for the introduction, Bhumika, and thanks everyone for joining this talk. In the last 3 days, I actually figured there are a lot of people from different parts of the world, like Saudi and India and Abu Dhabi and Bangladesh. I know it's pretty late, that it's almost 4:30 a.m. So if you are from one of those countries, I really appreciate you staying awake, and I hope you all take something from this session. Cool. I will start the talk. Unfortunately, I can't see anyone. I'll assume you all can hear me and see me, but I'm tracking the Slack channel, so please feel free to add any comments there. I'm actively tracking. I'll answer your questions. Let's make this more interactive. I'm very happy to answer any questions you have. Cool. Let's see. Okay, so before I start, I wanted to give out a few disclaimers about this talk and the opinions I present. So the first thing, you might be hearing this in every talk, everything that I'm presenting today is my personal opinion and should not be affiliated in any of my past with any of my past or present employers. The second point, something you should remember is this presentation that I'll be doing today represents how I feel about this journey, and every person you will talk to has a different story. Data science resonates different to different people. So take this with a grain of salt and always be inquisitive and ask questions to different data scientists on how their journey has been, because it's such a unique field. Everyone has a different journey. The third thing and the important thing to notice is data science is built with different archetypes. You can be an algorithm data scientist, you can be a product data scientist, you can be an infrastructure data scientist. Today, this talk, I will be representing most of my journey in the product analytics space. Feel free to ask questions on if you don't understand what product analytics is. But if you're looking for a research scientist path, or if you're looking for any other sort of path, I'm happy to connect and tell you how that path might look a little different than what I'm presenting. Nothing big should change, but how much time you spend on each of your skills changes a little bit. The fourth thing is I won't be talking much about the interview preparations and resources. There are a lot of things available. I'll solely focus this talk on 3 or 4 really important questions on how do you determine that you are ready to be a data scientist. And Slack me if you're interested. Let's begin. So before I start, I would like to show you my personal journey so that you can pick and choose the phases in my journey which resonates with you the most. I'm sure there will be some parts you'll be like, hey, this makes sense because this is exactly what I'm going through. There might be other phases like that. So I thought I'll share my journey first on how I became a data scientist. It's not that traditional, it's not very non-traditional, it's somewhere in between. So let's go there. And why do you think it's important? Why do I think it's important for you to know this journey? Because if I just did a poll and seems like around 45% of you are fresh grads and around 35% of folks over here are in a different field trying to transition to data science. So if you're one of those, you don't have a PhD, you're from a non-traditional background, and after you graduate, you get a job offer, we have a data science position for you, no one will ever say that. So it's really about the hustle and the journey to be a data scientist, because you have to pave your own path there. Okay, so it took me 5 years. As soon as I entered the workforce, it took me 3.5 years to become a data scientist, and I've been in the workforce since 5 years now. So I graduated with a degree in management information systems in University of Arizona. I would say that the degree is a mix between databases and some business acumen. So got me a little prepared for this job profile. But ultimately, what happened is the journey paved my path. So this is a screenshot of my LinkedIn profile. Let's go bottom to top. While I was studying at Arizona, I got this internship at Walmart. And I got a web development internship. So which was not something ideal for me. I did not really want to get into web development, but fortunately, I had an amazing hiring manager. I had an amazing recruitment team, and I requested that, hey, can, like, I'm this graduate, I'm really interested to see what data science is. I've heard this whole big data, SAS, Hadoop. I do not know what these are, but I would love to experience something in that field. And fortunately, they paired me with a senior data scientist at Walmart, and that was my first ever experience to even crunching data. That is when I saw what data science is. This was back in 2014. I go back to school using this internship experience. Now I get this marketing analyst job at eBay. And everything in green, and what I'm trying to get out of this journey is, you see, everything in green is something that I did a little extra than what I should be doing to pay my path to be a data scientist. I just want you all to see what are the things you could do. Your position might be different, but something you could leverage out of it. So when I was at eBay, we have this budget for higher education. You can use an X dollar amount. I don't remember how much it is, and it might have even stopped. But using that, I enrolled into this machine learning certification course from Stanford. It was pretty hard, but I think that was the single most very helpful education I got in terms of data science. And also at eBay, I made a friend with the data science director. We used to network, we used to have lunches together. And I asked him, hey, like, I do this, I'm this marketing analyst, I understand SQL, I do all this data. Can I explore some projects with some of your data scientists? Could you pair me up with the data scientist? I would just like to observe and maybe help a little bit in my spare time. He paired me with the data scientist. That was another entry point to this whole field of data science. Moving forward, I got this role at Facebook, again, an operations analyst. Now, what happened there is it had that org had a lot of data scientists, and I started networking with other data scientists, asking how their job is, what did they do together, what should I be preparing, and I started preparation for data science interviews. And 3.5 years later, I got a job. I became a data scientist. So it took me 3.5 years. Not very ideal, but it's worth it. Everything I did in those 3.5 years was definitely worth it. And now my current position is I'm a data scientist at Lyft. I hope that helps. Cool. So this entire talk, I will be discussing these 4 questions. And then we'll go one by one on why it's important to answer these 4 questions. So the first question is, am I passionate about data science? Once you know that, yes, this is something you want to do and this is your true calling, we go to the next question. Do I have the skills to be a data scientist? Once you know, okay, you do have the relevant skills and you could potentially be a data scientist. Next question we go to, can I ace the data science interview? Like what do I need to ace that interview? And once you do that, the 4th question that everyone fears is, will I be able to excel in my job? So I hope this will cover most of the questions you have about how to navigate your journey. So first, am I passionate about data science? And this is something which will be personal to you. You will have to answer this for yourself. But one framework I use is the Ikigai framework. And Ikigai basically is it's a very beautiful concept. If you all haven't read about it, you should definitely read. It comes from a Japanese island where it has the most population of centaurians, so people living more than 100. So this concept is basically means, what is that one thing that I live for? What is that one thing that makes me get out of my bed? And on the right side, in a clear data science fashion, you'll see 4 intersecting, I don't want to call it Venn diagrams, but 4 intersecting circles. But tell me, are you doing something that you love? Are you doing something that you are good at? Are you doing something that you can be paid for? And are you doing something that the world needs? And if you can fulfill these 4 questions, and if you can answer yes, 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 yes everywhere, that's where you form your Ikigai, and that's where you find something that you really are enjoying doing the thing that you care about. So how do I relate this to data science? I feel like I still haven't reached my Ikigai. There's still some things I need to fix to reach there, but let's take an example, like how I feel I found my Ikigai in data science. So things that you love, like, so what do data scientists love doing? And also keep this in mind, you can see what data scientists might be doing day to day. They love solving challenging problems using data. Give them any form of data, they will try to use the whole raw information and derive insights out of it. Calling bullshit on people using data, that in the workforce you'll find a lot of people who just have accusations and claims without any data backing. So as a data scientist, you're the most well versed in calling out bullshit on them, and mostly being a thought partner and influencer. So these are the things that data scientists love doing, and I feel like these are the things that I really enjoy doing. So the first, the topmost part, the things that you love, was check mark for me in this role. Now let's see the things that you're good at, right? What are data scientists usually good at? Of course, there's this whole bunch of technical skills. You have to be technically, but once you crack that, there's this whole new spectrum of things you have to really be good at to excel at your job, which is critical thinking, driving product vision with influencing skills, because this is what you do every single day at your job. You have to drive product vision. You have to be curious. You have to ask the tough questions. I felt through my journey, this is something I'm not as good at, but something I would enjoy being good at. And I think this was an important skill set for me to develop. So again, second check mark. Third one, what does the world need? Now, you might claim that, okay, the world does not need more data scientists. It's just another hyping job. It's just another fluff new job in the 21st century. But think about it. What data scientists, if you heard the talk today, beautiful talk on suicide prevention, think about what type of hard questions data scientists solve: suicide prevention, child trafficking, COVID trends, so many important questions that data scientists help solve, and the world really needs that. I feel that I still need to do something in this particular circle on what is something that the world needs and I'm good at and I'm passionate about it. But I think it's okay because it's a journey, and maybe this will come 5 years later, 8 years later, 10 years later. Do not rush to find your Ikigai in your first job. And the fourth part, can I be paid for a data scientist job? You might be hearing everywhere. The median salary is more than most of the other jobs, the sexiest job, like all the news press data science got. So I would like all of you to think that, are you passionate about data science? Because I am, and all the hustle and all the hard work that goes into being a data scientist is worth it for me. So let's first say that this is something that you're passionate about. Cool. Once we are done with the passion piece, what is the next step? Do I have the skills to be a data scientist? This is a question. Again, going back to the poll, 40% students, 30% other job profiles. I would say that I just read someone loves the Ikigai concept. Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Let's talk about the skills. So let's say you're about to graduate next month. You need a job. You go to a hiring manager. They say you don't have experience, and you say, but I need work to get an experience. And they're like, work, but that's why you see this whole thing. Tell me if this has happened. It happens to most of the people. Every data scientist position you see on LinkedIn today needs plus 5 years of data science experience. Frustrating for someone who is just graduating. It's frustrating for someone who's trying to come from a different non-traditional background. It's frustrating to someone who's studying economics and want to pivot to data science. I just put some memes so that you all don't sleep off, but these are the things that happens in interviews. Needs experience for the job, need the job for the experience. It's a vicious circle you cannot solve. But there are few things you could do in your day-to-day job, day-to-day role, day-to-day coursework, which could take you closer to the journey. Because it will be amazing if you get a data science job right after college. People do get that, and I pray and hope you get that. But if that doesn't happen, not everything is lost. Um, you have to find paths to take you close to that Ikigai, the way you want to be. So let's think about few things that we could do. Before we do that, I think what will be helpful is I feel there are only two people in this talk that are data scientists. One includes me, so there's only another one. But I'll tell you what a data scientist does day to day, which will give you a clear picture on what are the things you need to work on. And if you remember, I spoke about archetypes. Each data scientist role might be a little different. I'm talking about product analyst. There are research scientists. There are core data science. There are a lot of different word flavors of data science, but in the end, it packages to 6-7 really important things. Very important, SQL. I can't stress it harder enough. SQL will be your bread and SQL will be your bread and butter. Make sure you know this really well, because with SQL you can transform your data into good information and give insights to your business. Few of the things that I've written in the gray boxes, what SQL has, like, growth accounting, the churn rate, the retention rate, the resurrections, things like that. Like, SQL helps you solve all those problems. And at least I use it 70 to 80% of the time every day. So, or rather, it takes up 80% of my time day to day. Next step, dashboarding. I'm not sure if you all know what dashboarding means, but visualizations. Think about product health monitoring. Hey, we have this startup. We want to see how many new subscribers are we getting every day. You build a line chart. We want to see which regions are we good at quarter over quarter. You build stacked bar chart. A lot of ways you can dashboard. I won't get into it, but these are the things that data scientists do. Some of the good tools that help with dashboarding is Tableau, R, and Python. Tableau is more plug and play. R and Python needs some sort of syntax. It's great if you stick with Tableau, but I would also encourage getting some fluency in R as well as Python. It's always a really good skill set to have. I might be biased over here. If you were to ask me what should you pick, R versus Python, I might be biased. I would say Python, but there are a lot of others who swear by R. We can discuss more if this is of interest to you. Why would you pick one or the other? My current recommendation is Python. Third and most important thing, data scientists help with experimentation. Now, this is something that happens in few product firms that rely on experimentation. I've seen not a lot of product firms do experimentation, but this becomes a very important skill set to have on how to do hypothesis testing. Or you can even have, you might have heard A/B testing. A is the particular treatment, B is the control. What is the difference between them? So as a data scientist, you have to help the engineer set up these experiments. You have to determine what metrics should we measure, what counter metrics. There's a concept of power. Feel free to read it. You have to analyze the power. You have to know things like what do confidence intervals mean, and you have to help the team with launch decisions. So you can see how important job you are. You basically help from setting the experiment of a decision to making a launch decision. It's a very important role, and that's why it's so valued every day. Machine learning. This is something a lot of research scientists do, but as a product analytics data scientist, this is something you also have to do as and when required. So regressions, classifications, time series forecasting, feature selection, model evaluation. These are the things it's good to know. One thing that I've seen people trying to do is they over-index on machine learning, and they spend days and weeks and months focusing on that and nothing else. I would say pick your journey well and see where the trade-off is. Find mentors, find people who would help guide you. What is most important as of today? A few other things, engineering as a data scientist, you have to build ETL pipelines, which means using Python syntax, you embed that with a SQL query, and that refreshes every day to build something called as a pipeline. Also think about it as tables in SQL. You have to sometimes productionalize models. A lot of research scientists do that. They build a model, they have to push that to production. And very important thing that people do not realize is business instincts. I can't stress enough. I've seen so many data scientists in the industry that do not have business instinct, and they fail so hard. Make sure you understand your business, your domain so well. You ask the right questions every day. Ask the hard questions. And also another important skill set is let's say you're this amazing guy who does this technical work. Explaining your results or your analysis to a non-technical audience, to your boss, to your CEO, to your director, to your VP, is so important every day. Like, I can't stress it enough. So this is what I would say like a day-to-day life looks like. Research scientists do more of machine learning. The product analytics people do more of SQL experimentation. Operations people do a lot of dashboarding. Make sure, so this is what's needed. So how do you gain the necessary skills to become a data scientist, right? How you are a student, and let's pick up my journey. So this is what we saw in the first slide. I was a intern at Walmart. I requested reallocation to analytics, and got paired with a data scientist. So what did I do here? With this, I built a portfolio with data science projects. I found some mentors. And who would usually do that? If you are a data analyst, if you come from a non-traditional background, try to do something where you basically get an opportunity to enter the data science world. When I was at eBay, what did I do? Utilize education benefit and enrolled into the Stanford machine learning certificate. So what did I do here basically? And I'm just translating that into a more general wording. So what did I do there? I built my skill using something called as a boot camp, online course, and also worked on my portfolio. Who should do that? No relevant degree, non-traditional background, no DS projects in portfolio. Make sure you find ways to educate yourself, to do projects, to work on thesis and build your portfolio in terms of data science. And when I was an operations analyst, I started networking with other DS and started preparations for data science interviews. This is very important. If you are an analyst, if you are into BI, if you are a data engineer, use your current job position as a stepping stone to be a data scientist. I feel this was my turning point on using a job profile as a stepping stone in your current company, and get mentorships from other DS. So this was my journey on how I gained the relevant skills and what did I do to be there. But most importantly, have fun finding your Ikigai. It's a hard journey. Trust me, I've been there. A lot of you are there. It will be hard. You might want to give up, but always have fun. Make sure you pair up with a friend who has the same level of hustle and passion as you, and be there. Now, third question, will I be able to ace the data science interview? I won't get much into this, but I still put this here because I believe that knowing what will be asked in the interview also helps you prepare to be a better data scientist. So how to ace the data science interview goes without saying. You will study hard, you will study nights, you will interview, final round, you will fail, some bullshit, you'll repeat, you'll study, you'll interview, you'll fail, you'll study, but make sure every time you fail, see what was missing. Every time you fail, there will be something. You are better at a lot of things. There'll be something that is missing. Fail, prepare. Now you will fail because of this thing. Fail, prepare. Now you'll fail because of, every time it gets smaller, and ultimately you will make it. Every failure will make you a better data scientist and a stronger data scientist. Do not take it to heart. I failed a lot of my interviews early in my data science journey. It's all right. You will just keep preparing for being a better DS. So the few important rounds that come in an interview: SQL, statistics, a business case, an R Python course, experimentation, and behavioral. Not all companies, of course, have this, but most of the companies that I interviewed for in Silicon Valley had at least 4 or 5 of these rounds, right? We'll quickly brush on what is required in each of these, because one thing I've seen with fresh grads, like when I was studying, you go into this rabbit hole of doing statistics and going deep and deep and deep and deep, and there's no end in sight. Like how deep should you go? You do not have a sense of how much. So I'm just putting some things there which I think are important to know, and even if you know these bare bones, should get you 80% there. So I have a question on the Slack. Let me get there. You were able to build the 6 skills on the job, partnering with different teams, but what do you recommend for someone transitioning into data science from, say, academia, where the scale of program may not be as large? Great question. Let me get to this once I finish this deck, Sandeep. I'll definitely have an answer for that. Let's do that. Going back, so SQL. A lot of you might already have done SQL, but my animations are pretty wonky. But SQL, basically the basic syntax, joins, the window functions, and growth accounting. If you can do these 4 things, you are 95% there. You do not have to get into the complicated, the programming language SQL. I think you call that PL, SQL. I don't even know how to do that. But the basics, joins, window functions, and group by. As a data scientist, 95% of my SQL is just joins and group by. That's it. So SQL, make sure you have the basics tight. Make sure, but you can answer these questions, SQL questions, pretty well. Statistics, do probability, very important for a data scientist. Do combinatorics. Combinatorics is permutations and combinations, very important. I would say more than the job profile, it's important for the interviews. It's not used as much in your job, but it is given a lot of importance in interviews. And the descriptive stats, like what are the p-values, the medians and modes, like in the basics, crack that out of it. And if you were to ask me where like Khan Academy basics, do that, finish it, it's enough. And then the business cases. Business case pretty much means, I'm just doing a time check. Okay, we are almost getting out of time, so I'll be a little quick. Business cases is how you solve business problems. We have the Python and R syntax like pandas, NumPy. Do a project in Python. You know, it's so fun. It's trust me, it's so much fun when you build your first model using scikit-learn. It's so much fun. Try doing that. Experimentation. If you don't have a way to experiment now when you're studying, or you are in like an academia position, or you are in a different job, read about them. There's a beautiful book on experimentation, on A/B testing. Tell me if you're interested. I'll send you the link, but understand how you choose metrics, what p-values are, what confidence intervals are. And then the behavioral / domain knowledge. Like as a data scientist, you really need to influence your leaders, and you really need to call out bullshit on people. So you really need the strong behavioral skills. That's it. You have cracked the coding interview. And I have actually done a poll on the channel. Seems like around 30% of you all are not comfortable with SQL. I would highly recommend all of you to crack out your SQL first. And the next contender is domain knowledge and behavioral questions. Yeah, that I understand is very hard as a student. That comes with practice, that comes with experience. Yes, interesting polling. 17% in statistics. Nice. Statistics, please do not get into the spiral loop of getting so deep that you spend 2 months and then you still are not confident about statistics. Okay, let's go next. And then ask now that the journey will not be easy. I've been telling you, it won't be easy. It might be easier for some, it will not be easy for a lot of you, but ask if it's worth it. And me being in that position, I definitely think it's worth it. It's a fun, amazing job. So if you ever feel demotivated in the path, like always feel free to like LinkedIn me, tell me. I'm always there to like support and tell you what if something's missing out. Fourth question, and the most important fear that everyone have: will I be able to excel in my job? Let's say you did everything, you have the skills, you have the knowledge, you have this, will I be able to excel in the job? The answer is yes. And why do I say it's yes? Because if you have already aced the interview, you are ready for the job. Never doubt yourself. I'll tell you, data science is one field. I have seen so many people in my current and present previous employers, like everyone is doubting themselves. They think they're not a good data scientist. Not everyone, of course, sorry, but a majority of them. And let me tell you, because I myself suffer from imposter syndrome most of the time. And I'm 5 years into the data in the work profile. When 3.5 years after I became a data scientist, my first few months, I felt like shit. I was like, I am in the wrong role. I'm faking it. I won't make it. What am I even doing here? Should I go back to being an analyst? I had an amazing manager, and the sentence you see on the left, this is exactly what he said, that if I've already aced the interview, you're ready for the job. Let's fix this together, you and me. So I can't stress how important it is for you to get good mentors who will always support you and root for you in the journey, because everyone will feel like an imposter at some time, and that's okay. I put this interesting graph over here, which if you suffer, and apologies if y'all don't know what imposter syndrome means. It's basically you think you're not good enough, you think that you do not know anything and others know everything. So on the left is something that you will feel all the time if you suffer from imposter syndrome, that the yellow bar is you think what others know, and the blue circle is what you think you know. But in reality, it's on the right. Everyone knows something or the other, and every person is unique. So always make sure you go with this thought, and always like trust yourself, and just double down on everything. And as a parting thought I have for you all is to excel as a data scientist, identify your archetype. See what kind of data scientist you want to be. You want to be like me, who's into product analytics, driving decisions. You want to build algorithms. You want to write research papers. You want to there are a lot of different archetypes you can read on. Think what you want to be. Be really curious. Ask the hard questions. Be open to feedback. And the most important, ensure that you are at least 1% better every day, like your day over day growth. Think just like, once a month, close your eyes, rest up, see how did you progress as a data scientist and as a person. See if there's an improvement month over month, day over day. Very important for you to keep a track of your progress. That's it. Thank you for joining me. Feel free to stay connected on LinkedIn, Aadil Hussaini. I live in the Bay Area. If y'all ever want to have any questions for me, if you didn't like this presentation, if you think it sucked, if you think it was amazing, feel free to provide any feedback. Okay, so I don't know what the organizers want me to do, but I will take the questions from the Slack channel. So let's go to Sandeep's question. Thanks for sharing your journey. You were able to build those 6 skills on the job in the industry, partnering with different teams. But what do you recommend for someone transitioning into data science from academia, where the scale of problems may not be as large? So let's go to the 6 skills we spoke about, right? Okay. So if you are in academia, right? If you are in academia, I would put yourself in one of these positions. So I would put you in a current student as well as a non-traditional job. And what this means is, what you could do in academia is, I don't know what field you're in, but try to get as many CS and stats classes as possible. Make sure you are any of your theses or projects are data driven. You cannot really get into an internship right now, but what I would do is I would look at the non-traditional job. Now, use your domain knowledge to an advantage. Actually, this is something I missed. I don't know. I think I missed this slide, by the way. But use your domain knowledge as an advantage, because the hiring managers think you have a really amazing domain knowledge, but they do not know what kind of data skills you have. So it's good and bad. They think you have this. Let's say you are studying transportation industry. Now a rideshare company like Lyft, Uber, Ola might really love to have you because of your domain knowledge, but they're like, hey Sandeep, we do not know what kind of data skills does he have. So that's when you have to ace the interview, and you have to self-prepare yourself. And I've given some of the resources, like there are a lot of online courses. Another resource I highly recommend is the statistics video channel called StatQuest. I love it. This guy is awesome. So I would recommend something like that. Hope that answers your question, Sandeep. Feel free to respond in the thread. Thank you so much, Adil. Any resources to pass the job assessments test? I'm not sure what you mean by job assessments. If you can, if you mean the take-home test, or do you mean the Python 90-minute exams that people that the hiring managers give? Safiya, yeah. So if you can reply to your own comment, I will get back to your question. Experimentation, A/B testing book, definitely. I don't have it in the back of your mind, Brian, but I will Slack channel you and the other 2 people who +1'd your comment. I will make sure, Nishant and Vidhi, I will definitely share it with both of you. All right, Dan, Megan, Robert, you're welcome. Thank you for appreciating the talk. Yes, I see 2 people typing. Yes, someone, Kelly also likes stat, but it's amazing. Y'all should check it out. We have 5 more minutes. I can hang out here with y'all. Please feel free to keep commenting something, any questions you have about data science, life, how I like my job, whatever. Okay, Matthew says, I recently graduated with a CS degree heading towards master's in machine learning. Amazing, Matthew. Building a portfolio. What should be included? Um, what should be included in a data science? I would say an end-to-end machine learning problem will be amazing, which involves you scraping the data from somewhere, importing it, putting a lot of summary, doing some visuals, and building a machine learning model around it. Amazing. One or two of those projects, good. Two other things I would recommend is I'm forgetting the name of the website. This website with data science competitions. It's slipping my mind. But that, I will if someone remembers the website, it has a lot of data science competitions. Post there, but I will respond to you, Matthew. But try doing some problems from those particular website. It's pretty amazing. Every data scientist should know this website, and it's slipping my mind. Kaggle, yes, thank you, Kaggle. Okay, that's the one. Like two, yes, you all got it right. Two or three, like the Titanic problem, things like that. Really amazing problems will give you a good portfolio to add on. And Matthew, another thing is I would recommend like try getting a data science internship. Like how talking about my Walmart experience, I tried to move into something which is data sciencey. Could be simple analytics, could be machine learning, uh, could be anything. If you get one internship, it really opens your way to like hiring managers giving you preference over someone without any internship experience. Awesome. Cool. That is it, folks. And yeah, uh, could you talk more about projects that looks good on portfolio? So yes, so what looks good on portfolio, right? I would say, so now this is, so I'm biased. A lot of people say certifications really look good if you do like the Coursera certification. I have never done any of that, but I did the Stanford machine learning certificate. I think that helped with my branding and profile. So if you can have a couple of certifications, the thing that I explained to Matthew, if you can have two or three really end-to-end machine learning projects, that will be amazing. Megan, thanks for sharing. Kaggle has some really good tutorials, data sets, like practice those, and make sure you have that in your resume, like additional experience or like data science project section. People really value solving the hard problems. Uh, I missed I missed Eric's question. When it comes to data science interviews, how much on statistics do they quiz you on? There's definitely one round on statistics, probability combinatorics, p-values, statistical significance, central limit theorem. Like, these, uh, I wouldn't call them basic, but like, some fundamentals that you should be aware about. Definitely do those. What does a normal distribution mean? So there's always a round on statistics, but again, there will be some companies that will not have that round. So always before every interview, make sure you ask. But I think regardless of interview, these are good skill sets to have and a good information. Understood. I've applied to. Thank you for the info. Okay, you're welcome, Matthew. Nishan, that's very valuable for me. Thank you, Nishant. Okay, Robert has a question. I think I have time for one last question. So sorry if I can't take another more question. My first real DS job actually involved a lot of data engineering work. Now that I'm back on the job market, I feel like I didn't get enough data science experience. Any tip for trying to get back? Yes. So Robert, if you can see my screen, it's very similar to a data analyst role, and it's such a tough situation to be in, because if you're a data analyst or you are a data engineer, people will always tell you, if you read the third line, people always, you're not a real DS, you know about DS but you do not know everything a data science, and it's frustrating. I went through the same whole problem. So I would recommend like use it as a stepping stone career, and I would say double down on your technical depth, because you are this one person, your profile, people think you already know the basic data analytics, you know how to build pipelines, you know how to create infrastructure, but you have to now double down on the other things. So my recommendation is gain more technical depth. And if you are, did you say you are still working or you're back in the job market? But if you're still working in your current profile, network with other data scientists and try to make a linear what's that word? Horizontal shift in your own company. That's what I did at Facebook. Try making horizontal shift. We are out of time, but until the organizers don't stop me, I'll keep